Tutorial I'm going to talk about the deployment part in Salesforce. So whenever you want to deploy into Salesforce, like in Salesforce there is a production environment and there is sandbox. Okay, so when you write an Apex class or you write an Apex trigger, you have to write a test class for that. Okay, and that test class should have a code coverage of 75% or more. Okay, so after you have the code coverage of 75%, then you deploy that into the production from sandbox. Okay, so for deployment there is option of Changesets. Yes, it's called as Changesets. Okay, so because this is the developer org, you will not find an option of Changesets here. See, if I type Change, you don't find an option of Changesets, because this is the developer org, a practice org, and this is only meant for practice. So in order to deploy, like MNCs or other companies use enterprise edition or developer edition. So in that edition you can find Changesets. So there are mode of deployment in Salesforce. You can deploy from Ant migration tool, and you can deploy from Changesets, and you can also deploy from force.com IDE. But the main important thing is you need to write a test class before deployment, and it should have a code coverage of 75% for sure. Otherwise the deployment is not going to happen. So I cannot show you like how to deploy from here, because I don't have this the developer. If you take your cursor here at the top, you can see developer edition. So if you want to know what type of edition you are using, you can know it from here also. So if it is enterprise edition or unlimited edition, you can deploy the code. But I can tell you the procedure here, because I don't have access to the credentials. I just have the access in my office, and so I cannot use those credentials. I don't have access here because they have restricted everything. So but I can tell you the process here. So in Changeset there are two types: inbound and outbound. So whenever you are in sandbox, you need to add a component which you are going to deploy. Add component option will be there. First go to Changeset. In that go to outbound. I'll write the step here. Okay, so go to outbound Changeset. Okay, then you need to add components. What are the components? Components can be Apex class and the test class. Apex class or trigger and the test class of that. Okay, so after test class, adding test class is mandatory together, because you are going to deploy together, right? So if you are deploying Apex class, then deploy the test class for that. If you are deploying trigger, then deploy the test class for that along with that. It is important. Okay, so after adding, you need to click on upload. Okay, so after you click on upload, it will confirm. Then I just confirm yes, and then your upload is going to start. But sometimes what happens that there is a error of version numbers. So what happens is the code which you are going to deploy is of lower version. So you need to go there and just update the version number. Let me see if I have any Apex trigger here. fixed trigger or a fixed class, anything. Okay, let me open this. See, here you can see version settings. So you just need to click on edit and update the version to the latest version or the older version, how it is going to accept that way. Okay. Version settings, you can update the version 41, 42 that way. And then after you click on upload, you need to go to your production org. Go to production org, and in the production org, go to inbound Changeset. Okay, so in inbound Changeset, you just try to refresh there. Sometimes it's going to take time. Just refresh. Refresh is like refresh the URL. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it comes in 3 minutes, sometimes it takes 10 minutes. Just keep refreshing it, and whatever you are trying to upload, you have to click on that, and after clicking on that, just validate, and here you have options. Okay, default. So just click on run specified test. Run specified test. In this, add the name of your test class and add name of test class and click on validate. Okay, so after clicking on validate, it starts validating. So validation successful. If it's successful, it gives us validation successful. Now if the validation is successful, just go to quick deploy or deploy and deploy it. Deploy. Okay, in deploy also you have to follow the same procedure. You need to click on run specified test and just add the test class name. So this way you can deploy using Changeset. But if you want to know how to deploy using Ant migration tool or force.com, so I will be making a video on that. So please do subscribe to my channel.